Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor with the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health here in Anchorage. We appreciate the support of Alaska Public Media in allowing us to bring you Hangar Flying. This evening, we have Mr. Jason Young as our guest. Jason is the winner of the 2016 Ginny Hyatt Memorial Scholarship, which was awarded by the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Jason, congratulations on the scholarship.
Thank you.
You're a different candidate than we usually saw. You already have your pilot certificates and your ratings, but you're working on a Bachelor of Science degree in Aeronautics and Safety Management from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Did you always know that you wanted to be around aviation or that you wanted to be a pilot?
No, actually I didn't. Like most kids, when I turned 18, I went to college and didn't know what I wanted to do. And being a pilot was expensive and I couldn't afford it. And an opportunity came up where a family member decided to help pay for my private pilot's license. And from that point on, I was hooked.
So you started working in aviation, though, as a ramper or a load agent and worked your way up while you were working on your certificates and your ratings. So what did you learn from that experience?
That could fill a small book. I've done everything from clean the lavatories to fuel the planes to load the bags, overnight shifts by myself at executive FBOs. I learned pretty much everything around the circle of the aviation lifestyle, and it well-rounded my education I was doing while I was going to school. So it was pretty neat to be able to do that during the day and then go fly in the evening, and it was pretty nice.
So you definitely got the backstory of the
Yes.
aviation world while you were studying the front end.
Yes.
Do you think it made a better pilot?
It definitely taught me some things to avoid as far as how to approach your career when you get done with your commercial license, because they kind of just throw you to the wolves when you get done with getting that. But it was also nice because I had a pretty solid network of people that I knew in all four corners of it that I could kind of draw on when I graduated. So that was pretty nice.
So you are in a place right now where a lot of scholarship applicants and a lot of young people are hoping to be at some point with a career in aviation and flying professionally. Do you have any advice for people who are trying to achieve what you've already done?
I would say my biggest piece of advice would be get into flying for the flying. Don't get into it for the money or the glory or anything else, because someday you might find yourself in a Cessna 150 at 99 degrees outside with no air conditioning, or you might find yourself, 9:30 at night, 2 hours late when your cargo load didn't show up at the end of November during Christmas rush, and you need to enjoy the flying part because the rest of it is just the mundane part.
So you worked as a flight instructor as well.
Yep, yep.
And did you think that was a valuable experience?
In my later years of doing this, I think that's actually worked out to be my most enjoyable part of it, and I have a really strong desire actually to go back to doing that because that's very fulfilling, especially when you find students that are genuinely interested in doing it, when they take the time to learn the material and really connect with them. That's quite fun. There's always going to be those students that are just there because it's school and somebody else is paying for it, but the ones that really grab onto it, it's life-changing. I mean, it's kind of like teaching somebody how to drive. As soon as you do it, they're never going to be the same.
Yeah. I've heard that you never really know the material until you try to teach it to somebody. Did you find that to be true?
Yes and no. I think a lot of that has to do with how you're taught to be a pilot. It's very intense, and a lot of it is take a test, remember more different varying levels of material, take another test, learn some more, take another test, and you don't really hit that correlation point until you have to start explaining the connections in between everything. When you can take a question and explain the connections, that's when you really learn the material. You're not just learning the answer to the question on how to do something.
Sure. Do you think you would like to go back to instructing in aircraft or instructing in aviation or safety or management of aviation?
My life right now, with being a stay-at-home dad, I'm going to have to work pretty hard to find something that's going to fit back into that after I graduate. I never when I was flying as a full-time pilot, I didn't think I was going to be married with kids because honestly, when you're that age and you're flying nonstop, it's not a very good family job to have. You're gone, you don't know where you're going to be. So going back into it, I'm going to have to work pretty hard to find something that I still enjoy doing and is interesting to me every day, but at the same time allows me to still be with my family.
Still a good fit. So I know your boys are young. Any thoughts of instructing them?
Oh, I'd love to do that. My wife has definitely set some standards that have to be met before I'm allowed to bring the kids in the plane. But I know my youngest, I'm stoking that fire actively.
Good for you. Jason, we're going to have you back on our next show and talk about what your plans for the future are. And we really appreciate you being here today.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to Hangar Flying, and we appreciate the support of our members in the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation. Thank you very much. Until next time, fly safely.